Welcome to this complete Google Ads tutorial. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to create your first Google Ads campaign from scratch, even if you've never logged into Google Ads before. I'm going to walk you step by step through the entire process, including how to set up a campaign, how to conduct keyword research, how to create a high converting ad, how to set your budget and get the most out of each dollar, and how to target specific customers. So if you want more website traffic, more leads, and more sales, this video is for you. Let's dive right in. Chapter 1. What is Google Ads and how does it work? Before I show you how to make an account and navigate a dashboard, it's important to understand what Google Ads actually is. Google Ads is Google's online advertising platform that allows businesses to reach people exactly when and where they're interested in the products or services that you offer. Now, when most people hear Google Ads, they're going to instinctively think about one thing: Google search results. Now, this is understandable because Google has long dominated the search engine market, with SEMrush recently finding that more than 90% of all internet searches are conducted on Google. Google Ads, however, is about much more than placing ads in Google search results. You can also run ads on Google Maps, YouTube, the Google Play Store, Gmail, and millions of partner websites that use the Google Display Network. In this video, we'll focus on Google Search Ads because they're the easiest campaigns to set up and most profitable place to begin your ads journey. How Google Search Ads work. Everyone knows the basics. Someone goes to Google and types in a search like plumber near me, best CRM software, or online bookkeeping services, and they're bombarded with results. At the top of the page, there will often be one or several sponsored results, ads paid for by those businesses. What you probably didn't know is that every time someone searches, Google isn't just searching the web. It is also running an auction behind the scenes, and advertisers are bidding on keywords related to that search. Then, when the search engine page results appear, Google has already decided which ads to show, in what order they're going to appear, and how much each advertiser pays each time a searcher clicks their ad. And here's the important part: you don't automatically win by bidding the most money. It will help for sure, but Google also considers the quality of your ads and landing pages, the expected click-through rate or the percentage of people who see an ad and click on it, a high CTR, high-quality ad, and high-quality landing pages all convince Google that your content is authoritative and relevant. This boosts what Google calls the ad rank threshold. The higher your threshold, the more likely your ads will appear on SERPs and appear towards the top of the page. Your ad rank threshold is weighted against potential competitors. In short, quality matters. You can't just pay for the top spot. You have to earn it too. Now, one last thing before we move on. You only pay when someone clicks your ad, which is why Google Ads is often called a pay-per-click or PPC platform. Your cost per click, CPC, will vary, but Google has confirmed that having high-quality ads will lower your overall CPC. All right, now that you know what Google Ads are, where you can place them, and how the content creation and bidding system works, let's head over to business.google.com and get started. Chapter 2. Logging into Google Ads and account setup. Make sure the Google account you want to use is appearing in the upper right corner. You can switch accounts by clicking the profile picture and expanding the Show More Accounts field. Once you have the right account selected, click Start Now beneath the profile picture. If you don't have a Google account, you'll need to follow the on-page instructions to create an account. Important: use a real phone number you can easily access when creating a Google Business account. Your phone number, rather than your email address, is very important internally. If this is your first time logging in, Google will walk you through a simplified setup. Click Create Your First Campaign, and let's get right into it. Chapter 3. Creating your campaign. First, you have to provide your business's contact information. For my example, my business is named GV Marketing, so I'll type that into the box. The next box is very important. It lets us tell Google where we want to direct someone after they click our ad. Make sure your website is selected and enter your URL into the box. If you don't have a website, then select your business phone number instead. So far, so good. Click Next. Now, Google is trying to help you here as much as possible by browsing your website, identifying the main products or services you offer, and what makes your business unique. Google will also create tags that describe what your business offers. These are helpful jumping off points, but you'll want to spend the time tweaking the wording, adding in more tags, and getting everything just right. For example, I want to add YouTube tutorials, SaaS marketing, and digital marketing as products or services we offer. All I have to do is type in the box and press enter when I'm ready to save a tag. For the sake of time, that's all I'm going to do on this page. But don't worry, you can always edit this later. All right, let's click next. Now, Google will ask you to set goals for your campaign. Depending on the type of business you have or the products you sell, everyone is going to have different goals. A roofer, for example, wants someone to submit a lead form, while a software company wants someone to make a purchase. These aren't your only options either. Click See More and you will see 10 more options to choose from. These are for pretty niche uses though, and since you're just getting started, you'll want to choose from one of the first two options, purchases or submit lead form. What you pick will depend on the type of business you run. In my case, I'll go with submit lead form, since I want to start a conversation with potential customers, learn what their company does, identify their needs, and propose solutions. Now, Google wants me to enter the URL that the customer gets redirected to after completing a purchase. For this video, I'm just going to add contact at the end, but you'll want to set up a new page on your website, either a thank you page, a page that prompts them to create an account, or something similar, and make sure it's linked properly. Remember, the quality of these pages will matter, so take the time to do it right. Click Next to move on. Now, before we do anything else, click View Other Campaign Types. This is very, very important. So Google is trying to let its AI determine where your money will be best spent across all platforms. This is called the Performance Max campaign, and it is not what you want, at least not at first. You want to be in control and keep everything as simple as possible. So on this page, select Search. This means your ads will show directly in SERPs when someone actively searches for what you offer. Click Next. Now, before we start working on keywords, look under More Settings. This section is broken into 4 categories: locations, languages, audiences, and networks. Let's work our way through these in order, one at a time. Open Locations. This will allow you to view all 4 categories. Locations let you determine where your ads will be shown. If you're a local business, I recommend using custom locations and adding cities and counties you service manually, one at a time. It is more time-consuming and more expensive, but it'll make sure you don't waste a single dollar targeting someone you can't reach. If you run an online business, however, you'll want to choose a country or multiple countries. For my example, I'll select the United States and Canada. Then, click Location Options and set this to Presence, people in or regularly in your included locations. This prevents wasted spending by targeting only people in the areas you plan to service. Languages is simple. Choose the language your customers speak. In my case, I'll go with English only. Audience segments are more complex, and we'll come back to this setting later. For now, look to networks. You'll see 2 checkboxes, and both will be checked by default. Uncheck Google Display Network. This is one of the most common beginner mistakes. We want search traffic only, so we're only targeting people actively looking for solutions. Now, hit Done. Our campaign is starting to take shape. Let's switch gears and focus on keywords. Chapter 4. Keyword Strategies. Keywords, the words or phrases people type into Google that trigger your ad, are the foundation of your entire campaign. For example, emergency plumber near me, best project management software, or accountants for small business. Your goal is to target high-intent keywords, meaning searches that signal someone is ready to take action, whether that's making a purchase or filing out a lead form. Returning to Google Ads, the AI will automatically generate some keywords for you. These aren't very helpful. They're based only on the tags you used to describe your business in the previous chapter. Go ahead and delete all the AI-generated keywords. Now, one thing to keep in mind before we start adding keywords. Google will interpret the keywords you add broadly. What does that mean? Well, for example, if I use the keyword software tutorial, Google may recommend my ad to anyone searching for something related such as software tutorial creators or who make software tutorial videos. These are called broad matches. There's another way to add keywords that eliminates any ambiguity, using quotation marks. For example, I'll add the keyword software tutorial help to my keyword list. This tells Google that if a search contains these 3 words in any order, I want to appear in ads for those searches. This is called a phrase match. Now, lastly, we have exact match. This is when you want an ad to run only when the exact phrase is searched. You use brackets on either side to denote an exact match. For example, I'll use YouTube tutorial creators. If you ever need a refresher on these three keyword types, all you have to do is click the question mark in the upper right corner above the keyword box. Using all three together is best, but if you have a very tight budget, I recommend focusing on exact match and phrase match only. Alright, at this point, you'll have to conduct keyword research. Sadly, we don't have time for that in today's video, but if you're interested, check out my SEMrush videos where I spend a lot of time showcasing their excellent keyword research tools. Note, high intent keywords that often appear in search engine results pages will cost you more. We'll talk about pricing more when we get there. For today, I'll move on with just these three keywords. Now, let's circle back around and look at the setting we skipped earlier, audiences. Chapter 5, Who is your audience? Click the pen icon next to audiences. Here, you'll break your audience into different categories. Almost anything can be used here, including demographics like age or shared interests. Clicking Browse lets you view the 5 broad audience segments that Google uses: who they are, what their interests and habits are, what they're actively researching or planning, how they have interacted with your business, and your combined audience segments. Now, in my case, I'll be interested in what their interests and habits are and what they're actively researching or planning. For many businesses, however, who they are will also be very, very important. For example, if you're an insurance company, you may only want to target people who are over 35. And if you're a men's tailor shop, then you'll only want to target men. There's no right answer here. You know your audience best. So I'll leave it to you. Scroll through each category and make sure that the audience segments don't apply to you. In my case, I'll open what their interests and habits are, expand the view next to technology, and check the box next to technophiles, or people who are passionate about technology and enjoy purchasing or reading about new gadgets. I'll scroll back up to the top of the section here and hit the back arrow. Now I'll open what they're actively researching or planning. Scrolling through the lists, it looks like 2 categories apply to me: business services and software. I'll open business services and expand the views of advertising and marketing services and business technology and browse to my heart's content. In the end, here's what I'm going with: technophiles, software, business technology, and SEO and SEM services. As I said, you're going to know your audience the best, so take the time and look through all the possible segments to reach the best leads you can. Now, the targeting settings for this campaign is the last section we need to look at. Targeting means that your campaign will only target people who fall into one of the segments you've identified. In contrast, observation means you'll target people across demographics while collecting data on the segments you've identified, as well as giving you the option to adjust your bids for your segments individually. I recommend leaving it set to observation for your first few campaigns. Click Done at the bottom of the page, and since it's time to move on, hit Next in the bottom right. Now that we've identified the keywords and the people we want to target, it's time to actually create our ad. Chapter 6, Creating your ad. Ads that appear in Google search consists of 3 main parts: final URL, headlines, and descriptions. Once again, we'll work our way through these categories in order, one at a time. The final URL serves 2 purposes. It is where people go when they click your ad, and it is the page that Google pulls images, logos, and other assets from, which can appear in your ad. Pro tip: I know mine is set to my homepage right now. Do not send traffic to your homepage unless it's highly relevant, constantly updated, and SEO optimized. Instead, I strongly recommend either using a service page, a landing page, or a page that directly matches the keyword the campaign is targeting. Remember, the more relevant the information on that page is, the better the performance and the lower the costs. On to the headlines. These are the first words someone will read, so they have to be engaging, on topic, and creative. You need at least 3 different headlines, but I recommend using as many as you can, at least at first. Google will randomize which headlines are used and in what order they appear. That way, you'll be able to view the data, see what works, and make informed decisions on what to do in the future. At the start, it's all about casting a wide net and refining with time. Here are a few best practices to keep in mind when crafting your headlines. Try to include the main keyword in each headline. Highlight product or service benefits, focusing on your business's unique capabilities or experience. Identify pain points and use numbers as a pattern interrupt and draw attention to your contents. Here are the headlines I will use. YouTube videos for SaaS, SaaS YouTube videos that sell, high converting SaaS videos, YouTube marketing for SaaS, and B2B SaaS video experts. Next, we have the descriptions. These are the words that appear under the headline. The headline's goal is to grab the attention of potential leads, and the description reels them in. Use these to explain your offer, build trust, and include a call to action. These are not firm guidelines. Do what you think is best. For example, I'll use, we create YouTube videos that drive demos, trials, and real SaaS growth. Done for your YouTube videos built to convert SaaS buyers at scale. And turn YouTube traffic into qualified SaaS leads with a proven video strategy. At the very bottom, there's the option to add additional features. Ad extensions make your ad bigger and more clickable. The only one worth your time is site links. Add additional links to relevant pages that highlight your experience, value proposition, or services. These don't cost extra and can dramatically increase click-through rate if done right. For now, I'll leave them as is and click Next at the bottom of the page. At this point, all that's left is to set your budget. Chapter 7. Budgeting and bidding strategy. The first thing you have to do here is the most important. What do you want your campaign to focus on? Your options are conversions, conversion value, clicks, or impression share. While most people will opt for conversions, it is acceptable to start with clicks to generate awareness if you're a new business or going online for the first time. Still, I'll go for conversions. I'll check the box labeled Set a Target Cost per Action. This is tricky to calculate, but the best way to think about it is to ask yourself, how much is a new customer worth to me? This can and does vary wildly. A roofer, for example, is likely to be willing to pay far more per lead than a snow plowing business is. For me, each lead is worth quite a bit, so I'll set my limit to $30 per action. Now, it's time to budget. How much do you want to spend per day? This can vary, but in truth, a good beginner range is $10 to $30 per day. This lets you collect data and get some conversions without risking too much money too early. Remember, this is an average. Google may spend slightly more or less on certain days, but do not spend more than 30 days early on. Click Next. Now, all that is left to do is enter your payment information. Click Submit, and there you go. All right, congratulations on getting your first Google Ads campaign up and running. Now comes the hard part, being patient, following the data, and responding accordingly. When you first started your business, it was a grind to get going, to get your first customer. This won't be any different, so stick with it and leverage Google Ads to the best of your ability. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.